Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our Migration Services webinar today. Today's topic is how to properly kickstart your content migration project. We are happy to have you here, and before we start, let's introduce our today's speaker, which is Fredrik Olsson, our Senior Sales and Business Development Manager, and he will lead you through the whole slideshow today. For my humble self, I'm Mark Olsson. I'm the Product Marketing Manager here at FME. And just a couple of notes before I hand over to Fredrik. All attendees are muted during the whole session. The webinar is being recorded and it will be shared with you after the webinar. All right, that's it from my side, I guess. I'm handing over to you, Fredrik, now, and have fun.
Thank you very much, Mark. My name is Fredrik Olsson, and I'll be happy to have you here tonight and also tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. The agenda today is we're going to look into a few FME partners for migration services. But of course, we're going to jump into the challenges of content migration and also how we can help you and support you with Kickstart your migration project. And after I have shown that, we're going to have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can write them into the chat below, and we're going to take them at the end. First, a short slide to who we are. We help our clients worldwide to master their digital transformation in order to remain competitive and also to stay in business sometimes. We are from the enterprise content management area. We've been there for more than 20 years, and this is why we have such an extensive knowledge within migration and migration services. But we also, of course, do other things as well. That's business intelligence, cloud, big data, social collaboration, and of course, we do software development as well. We were founded in 1995, having some 220 employees, and we have offices throughout Germany, Munich, Frankfurt, and this is our main office in Brunswick. We have a support and development office in Romania for more than 10 years now. And we have a full scalable US office for sales, for developing, for support as well. And of course, we want to be the company you love to work with. But with us today, we also have for migration services and two partners. One of them is our newest partner, Synapse Solutions from UK, which was formed in 2003 and also been focusing for enterprise content management solutions throughout all those years. They have many more things in their portfolio as well. I'm happy to have them for our UK market. So if you need any support in the UK market, this is the company that we work with and that would support you as well. The second partner we have tonight is Tieto. Tieto is for our Nordics software and service company for our Nordic countries. That means Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark. And they're serving the clients there since 1968, more than 900 customers and more than 14,000 experts globally that can support you as well. So if you are from this area, this is a partner that we will work with together with you. So we're happy to have them here tonight. So today we will look into how to kickstart your content migration project. But what kind of challenges and use cases do we actually have? I'm going to show you a few of them. The most common is an upgrade. Of course, if you have an old system and you upgrade it to a new system, this is where you can use Migration Center to upgrade your data into the new system. But also if you have a content migration from outdated client application to a new application. Content migration from on-premise to off-premise system, this is something that happens more often now when cloud is becoming more and more popular and accepted in the market. But also we do consolidation, and we help customers to reduce the total cost of ownership by consolidating repositories or even do decommissioning of the old system and keep all the data in the main system. I'm not going to cover them all, but one of the last one I'm going to cover here is archiving. Of course, you can use us Migration Services and also Migration Center, the tool that we're going to look into as well, to archive data from multiple systems to an enterprise archive. So that means we can support you in this area as well. And this is just to give you a short idea of how you can use us, our professional services, but also how you can use migration center. But a migration project can be quite challenging in itself. Depending on the data volume and the time estimated for the migration, you need to think of the infrastructure. For example, what are the best settings for the database? How many job servers do you need? Do you need one? Or do you need several of them? Are they on the same machine or are they in different network segments? Further, what if there are errors during the migration? How will they be handled? Will there be defined process? Do you have the defined process? And of course, you have all the people who are affected in a migration like this. And it's probably not one, it's a lot of people affected. Those you have to also to pick up and see who will do the user acceptance test, who is going to answer questions of the business departments. Will there be training of the new system? How do they know when to start working in the old system and start using the new system? After all, documents might be quite crucial to their daily work, so this is something you have to think of as well and take care of in a migration project. And actually, a lot of thoughts need to be kept in mind in addition to this. You probably have a timeline, you have communication, you have budget, you have training, and you also have a quality assurance and much more. To make it more complex, there could be more than one source system as well, because a lot of our customers, they're having decommissioning at the same time. They have one system which need to update another system because they are geographically spread out throughout the world, and they're using for an ongoing update of other systems. So they have migration center for a lot of different tasks. And sometimes you also have different systems and you want to decommission those at the same time. And this is also something that is quite complex. So you see, a migration can be quite a complex project. And even with a great product, there's a lot of things to keep in mind. And that is exactly where our team migration services come into play. So to stay on top of this complexity and make your migration project a success, we offer various services around our product, Migration Center. And for those who don't know Migration Center, I'm going to give you a short update on that, because this is kind of the base on what we are providing our support and our services around. Migration Center is 100% out-of-the-box content migration platform. You don't need to program anything or script anything. All you have to do is to configure Migration Center. We've done more than 350, 400 projects, and we've been more than 10 years on the market with this product. It has been in there for regulated systems. That means we have a lot of 8 out of 10 biggest pharmaceutical companies are using Migration Center on a daily basis as of today. We're probably heading to 100%, and this is kind of like the quality assurance that you have this product is really, really working. You have more than 120 migration paths for multiple platforms. That means you can choose and see if you have different systems in-house, you can use Migration Center as the one migrating tool and covering several systems. It is a very flexible tool as well, so we can manage within a couple of days to upgrade a connector and to fit into a system that might not be on the list today. We have a global service presence, and we also have a flexible and simple pricing model for this. And of course, we're certified by leading ECM vendors. So this is just a short. We have a lot of webinars around Migration Center. Also, we can do a live demo for you if you like, explaining Migration Center more in detail. But today is more about the services that we can provide, but the services provided around this tool, Migration Center. So back to our service offering. We provide you with analysis and planning. This is, of course, very important in the beginning. We can support you with proof of concept, making sure that everything is aligned and set up correctly within the company and everything is thought of. Project and communication management to help you and support you how to communicate such a migration. On-site and remote training, enable your employees to operate Migration Center as a professionals right from the start. installation and configuration. We come and set it up and have it up and running in no time. And of course, I mentioned it before that connector development is really, if you see on our list later on what connectors and what system that we support, if you don't have it on that list, we can in a couple of days develop this and make this happening. Monitoring and reporting before, after, and during the migration. This is something very important. Maintenance and support. Of course, we have an excellent support. So if you have any trouble and need some troubleshooting and so on and so forth, you can reach out to our support, and we are there, and they are very, very fast. Quality assurance is, of course, very important to make sure that while migrating, it is important to verify that all migrated content arrives in the target system. So it means that you can provide different tests and different ways of doing tests, like a black box test strategy and so on and so forth. So we can help you with that as well. And if you have a feeling that your IT department is booked out for the next couple of years and resources is very rare, and you maybe don't have the time to bring your team up to migration services, you can use this for the whole project or one of our partners that I mentioned before. FME, we have more than 10 years on the market with this product. We've done more than 17, 18 years of migration, and we have a deep knowledge in a lot of existing enterprise content systems. For example, Documentum, D2, FirstDoc, Viva, SharePoint, just to mention a few. So we can most likely help you to set up a migration factory. This means to establish the required IT infrastructure, but also to bring your staff up and running for an ongoing process of migrations within your company and organization. And at this point, you probably have different projects on your mind, like upgrading an enterprise content management system, or migrate to a new system, or maybe even decommissioning and save some money right there. But the biggest issue that I run into when I talk to customers about this is really that the timing. The question I do get is, I just wrote down a few of them. It's like, really, when we start when we have budget. It takes time to convince the decision makers. We know that, yes. We need to do a POC first. When do I have the resources for making a POC? How does it work? This is complicated. And a tool I can use, and so on and so forth. So this is a lot of thoughts, and it's correct. I do understand every single question here. Thus, you put it on your to-do list and say, okay, we're going to do this migration. But since a lot of companies don't really know how to start, where to start, and how to get the budget, like the questions in here, they push it into the future. And they do that, although most of you probably know it's one of the most important projects that you have. And this, we would like to make the first step much easier for you. So at least for the first point, shouldn't be an issue. And the rest we will support you with. So what we have right now is that we have a meet and greet workshop. This is the benefits from it is really to minimize the risk of buying a pig in a poke. That means you will see how Migration Center works in your environment. You will see how the first migration works. You will get best practices on site from our side, how to start, how to plan, and how to do the migration, and this everything on site. We will get you ready for the first Migration Center project. We will also continue to evaluate after we leave, and you will also have the possibility to continue evaluate this, because we will give you a 2 weeks free trial version. So once it's installed and you can look into and work with it, you can continue doing this after we left. But of course, you will get all the questions during the workshop answered, but also in the days and weeks afterwards. You're also going to have the migration support from our support team. And maybe in this case also, we will help you to identify other application areas of Migration Center. Because an upgrade is an upgrade, decommissioning is decommissioning, but sometimes it's also good to make sure that you have 2 different systems in different locations in the world, and you have to make sure that both systems have the latest versions of documents. This is also where we can help. Or you just want to drain a full system and make sure that this system is running smoothly. It's a lot of use cases. You saw a few of them earlier on. Right now, you maybe have more ideas of other use cases. And this is something that we have in a running discussion with you on site. And what you have to do for this? Well, all you need to do is accept our offer. The offer we have is a 1 to 2 day workshop on site. If it's in the DACH area, it's us. If it's in Nordics, you will be forwarded to Tieto. And if it's in the UK area, we have Synapse who can support you. And one of us going to get to you on site documentation of the workshop and the product information you will have. You will have this full evaluation copy of Migration Center for 2 weeks. So once it's installed, you can continue working with it and collaborate with it and get your first feeling for it. And of course, you have this product support for the whole test period. And your invest is, of course, your team's work and time. This is not to be underestimated. And you will also have to take care of the travel allowance and accommodation for our migration experts. But you don't pay for the time being there or the preparation of it and so on and so forth. So we're really talking about a short and a small budget you need for us to get there for 2 days and to make sure that you can see that it works, get the on-site practices, best practices from our side, and get the questions answered. And I don't think it's a much better way to do that than to really work with the product with you in your company. And some of the ideas that we actually do when we come to and visit companies is for sure this analysis and planning. We bring in our migration upgrade task force, our migration expert with support to get started, to plan and keep out for any fallbacks or any black holes or any other issues, or let's recommend the best way to do the migration. Installation and configuration, that means we will install it together with you so you see how it works. We do the first configuration of the migration center together with your team. So that means this is kind of like training on work. Have your migration center environment ready, running in no time. And of course, what I said before, once we leave, you can continue work with it for another 2 weeks. Proof of concept, if we manage to do that in addition, we have to discuss, but otherwise we have also had customers that said, okay, we just need to support us with the proof of concept. So before starting out, being sure that you have the right plan to fulfill your requirements and also to support you to get started. So reveal risk, estimate cost and time, and receive an individual price offering for the whole project, not only for the licensing of the migration center. So this is all points that will support you and help you to sell this internally and also to get you in a better seat to understand what is coming up. You will have a good knowledge after this 2 days workshop, what risk you have, but also knowing the risk is also knowing the possibilities. That means that you can, when we left, also discuss it internally and bring in management maybe to look at the tool and also to look and hear your story about it, and also to deliver a solution how we could do at last now do a decommissioning or do this migration that we have pushed for many years, how we can speed this up. So this is everything is there for you to make sure that this project will be up and running. So I can just emphasize, use our meet and greet offer, either with us or with our partners, and we'd be happy to show up in your office. What I didn't mention here is that we drink a lot of coffee, so that might be an extra expense on that case. But I think that it's worthwhile to have us on site and support you. Thank you very much for the time. I hope this was informative for you. And I will give the word back to Mark.
Okay, thank you, Frederick, for the short but profound insights into the migration service topic. Before we head over to the promised Q&A session, let's have a look at the migration tool Frederick mentioned. We do have a pretty good website. It's migration-center.com, and on there you can find all the detailed information about the migration tool, like the mentioned target platforms, OpenText, SharePoint, Alfresco, Box, and any other custom system. Actually, you can find references, success stories to see what our customers think about us, about the tool, and you can, of course, find former recorded webinars on there. So just hop by and take a look. And last but not least, Frederick mentioned it, we do offer the free evaluation copy. You can just get it on our website by filling in a short form, and we'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. All right, now it's time for the Q&A session. If any question should pop up, you can still put it into the question panel, into the question box of your GoToWebinar panel right now, or into the chat box. It doesn't matter. I can see both of them. And so far, we have gathered 2 questions. And Fredrik, I guess I'm just going to read it out loud, and you are going to answer it, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's start. If we only need one expert to include in our team, would you consider that as well?
Yes, of course. This is actually the base. What we delivered here was just one idea. We are flexible. We are up for anything. So we do see that some companies, larger companies, they really have a team in the IT, and every now and then they need an expert. So especially in the beginning, and also in the starting phase of the real migration, that's where they usually bring in an expert from our side. So yes, we do.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's move on to the second question. We know we need more than the 2 days. Could we add a few days to the 2 free days right away?
Yes, of course. Here's one. The 2 days is our proposal. We know that we don't fulfill all the tasks in 2 days, but we will give you a kickstart, and we will give you a good foundation of continue and to discuss this internally, and hopefully get understanding internally for doing a project like this. But if you know that you already have this project, yes, of course, talk to us. The first 2 days we're going to invite you to and propose continue, but we can also add a contingent of days, and you just use the days that you need and only pay for the days you need, of course. But the first 2 days will be for free, and whatever you need after that, yeah, please tell us. Let's get in discussion, and we find a solution on that as well.
All right, perfect. Third question. Hello, my name is Matt from HP. We are now on an unsupported version of Documentum, but require a content migration in the coming month. I realize that because our software version is unsupported, we cannot expect dedicated resources to assist in our project, but where can I look for assistance to enable us to migrate ourselves?
I'm not really sure why you wouldn't be able to get dedicated resources. From our side, you can get resources to do this migration. And if it's not supported, what version? Could you maybe put in what version you have right now? Because we can support you in the migration, but I don't really understand the
6.7.
6.7, yeah. We support 6.7, so this is shouldn't be an issue at all. So we can bring the data from this version into the new one. But I do the following. I will check back and get back to you in written form as well. We have to do that. I don't see any issue right now on this. One thing is that we support everything from 5.2.5 Service Pack 1. So we support even older system than this.
Okay, as it happens very often, if there are any questions that pop up after this webinar, you can always direct your further inquiries to Frederick. You see his email address displayed on the screen. I guess that's it from our side, isn't it, Frederick?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much for your attention, and we'll be happy to work with you. So are our partner as well, I know that.
Thanks a lot for attending, and we hope to see you soon in the next webinars. And always remember, it's FME you love to work with. Thanks a lot. Take care and bye-bye.